Who would have thought in 2020 or almost 2021 that magazine content would be a thing? I'm actually kind of blown away by it, but when I dig into my YouTube analytics, there's actually people looking for magazine design using Affinity Publisher. That's one of the things. That's a thing. You better believe I'm gonna lean into that. Today, I'm gonna do just that by buying 5 different zines off of Etsy without any regard to what they are, who they're from, or anything. Just gonna buy 5 zines and we're gonna talk about them. Let's go! What's going on, everybody? My name is Dave Connery. I'm an artist designer based in Southern California, and this is actually one of the, I've never done anything like this before. I've never done a video ever before where I took like things that I bought on the internet and then just reviewed them. Reviewed them. Seen other people do it, so I figured why not? Why not give this a shot and see what happens? Now, I know I mentioned that magazine content is actually a thing. It's actually something people search for a lot. And we're not really looking at magazines so much as we're looking at zines. And these are different, obviously, because some zines can be very professionally made and can be done really well. Magazine quality type of production. But most of the time, zines are meant to be rough and tumble. They're meant to be punk rock. They're meant to be hand-drawn. They're meant to be hand-lettered. They're meant to be pasted up and torn apart. Meant to look like you did them when you were a teenager. Of course, some people are going to take them to the next level, and we may see some of that here when we go and look for them, but I think I'm actually going to lean in a little bit more to the DIY aesthetic, the ones that look like they were done by hand and maybe printed at their local copy center, like whatever, I want to say Kinko's, but is that even a thing anymore? So I'm going to buy these 5 zines, wait for them to arrive, and then we'll talk about all of them once they get here. But until then, I'm just going to go digging through Etsy to see completely at random some of these ones that are up here, looking at them just based on cover aesthetics alone. I'm not going to dive deep. I'm not going to look and see what kind of content it's about. I'm going to see what gets my eye, what attracts my attention, and I'm going to buy that. Let's jump into it. But not before I say, hey, if you appreciate this kind of content, you like what I'm doing, do me a favor, hit the like button on this video. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't done so already. Hit that bell button right over there. If you do enjoy this video and any of the other videos I make sure you share this with some of your homies. Okay, to the internet. All right, so as you can see, we are here on Etsy. And why did I go to Etsy? Because Etsy, back in the day, it was handmade. And when I bought some zines back in the day, I bought them on Etsy. There are other places online that you can find zines, and you can do searches for that. But there's a lot of people that sell them on Etsy, and so we're going to buy them from Etsy, from people that are reputable sellers or something. I am not signed in to my account because I kind of want this to be a little bit more organic. I don't want it to be catered to my own whims and treatments. Nothing here is a reflection of my own personal interest. I'm sure the IP protocols or whatever and things and stuff has got me looking at certain things, whatever. Anyway, so I believe zines are under books and stuff. There we go. Zines and magazines. And I'm going to sort by, sort by most recent. We've got a few here right up at the top. I like the illustration on this one, and maybe that makes me a little bit of a pervert. I don't know much about it. $8.50. We're gonna put that. We're gonna put that as a maybe. It's hard to read some of these. I'm old. Tarot's not really of interest. Plant zine, not really of interest. I'm looking for stuff that I'm actually kind of interested in. Okay, Playboy's a vintage magazine. We're not doing that. What is this? Nurse Black. That is definitely not something we're buying. Puritan. What the hell is being sold on Etsy? My goodness. There is some really illicit shit going down in Etsy. What is this? Prude. What? Wow, Etsy, you have changed. I'm kind of looking for something a little bit more punk rock, but oh, this is kind of cool. Here's an illustration zine. I think I'm going to do that one. We're going to hold on to that one. I like supporting illustrations, so we'll go ahead and hold on to that and put that one aside. Genius Love, horoscopes, trigger warning. This looks like no more Band-Aids. I don't know what this is. Ooh, that's got a very, no more Band-Aids. It's about childhood trauma. I've had enough childhood trauma. We're not going to go there. Smut Timber zine. Wow. I am actually shocked. I'm a little bit blown away. I'm a little bit taken back by some of this stuff. Okay, here's a cool one. Shadow Rat zine. Let's take a good look at it close up. Shadow Rat. There's only 2 pictures in here. I have no idea what it's about, but we're going to add that one to the list. Sniffer. Dog lover, stocking stuffer, stress, anger, depression, anxiety. That sounds fun. Femme Filth, number 2. Looking for more music-oriented stuff, but it's not really finding anything. If I don't find anything, we're just going to play it by ear. We're going to shoot from the hip. Here we go. An illustrated zine from 20th century women in indie music by Jasmine Star. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Okay, so we'll keep that one. Kathleen zines, all these Bikini Kill zines. That's cool, but that's not what we want. If you don't know who Bikini Kill is, go do your homework on Spotify. I highly recommend them. Let There Be Donuts. I think we have a winner. Granny Donuts. Okay, all right, I think we're good. I think that's it. Okay, so let's add all of these. I'm gonna add this one to cart, Leading Lady Volume 1. This one is Les Fugitives. Illustrated is CHiZ. I don't know, what's it actually called? It's actually CHiZ Magazine, number 3. Okay, so we're gonna add that one to cart. This one is Shadow Rad Zine. We're gonna add that to cart. Women in Music, add to cart. And then Let There Be Donuts. I'm actually most eager to see this one. So there we go. We just ordered 5 zines off of Etsy, and when they all show up, I'll come back on here and we'll talk about all 5.
Many unbearable hours later.
It's been over 1 month since I ordered all of these zines, and some of them took a little bit longer than normal. U.S. Postal Service has been a little bit rough. Plus, some of these came from the United Kingdom and Paris and other places outside the country, so I'm not going to complain too much about that. Anyway, let's get into it. The very first one I ordered, Shadow Rat Zine. I'm going to rate these on a couple of different categories. Number one, I'm going to rate these on just artistic merit, just for my personal tastes. How do I feel about them artistically? I'm going to rate them on the quality of the production, and I'm not necessarily knocking them one way or another. I'm basically just saying, hey, this is a high quality. This is versus like a little bit more of a ragtag zine style, which is totally okay too. Then I'm going to rate value based on what I paid versus what I got. Now this artist is named Lipstick Tiger. I apologize automatically to this because it looks like, I don't know if you can see it, but a little bit of a coffee stain right there. This is a very short zine. It's only 12 pages, and every single page is printed all the way. Full bleed. Every single page has a little bit of her art on it, plus a small story. It's almost like children's book type style, but the illustrations are simple. The art is relatively simple in, you know, her characteristic style. From a creative standpoint, art standpoint, I'd give this a 7 out of 10. As far as the quality of the paper is actually really nice. It's possible she just printed this out of her printer and then folded it and cut it, but the paper is actually really nice quality paper. The color fastness isn't there though, at least compared to what I saw on Etsy. On Etsy, it definitely looks like more of like a light blue versus a magenta, whereas this is like, it's still, I don't know, kind of like a more rosy red and more of an aquamarine color. I'm not mad at that. I'm just saying that, you know, from a visual standpoint, when I look at that picture versus this, it's a little bit off. So from that standpoint, from a promotional standpoint, I would say I would give that about a 6, just for that reason. And finally, value for $4.28. This is pretty good value. I mean, it's 12 pages, but it's still, you know, $4.28. That's not bad. Except I paid for shipping from the UK, which wasn't ridiculous, but then obviously it adds that on top of it. So would I buy another one from the UK at this price? Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. It would have to depend on the amount of pages and what I'm actually getting for that. But I'm not mad at this. I still think it's a pretty good piece. This next one is from Jazz Pierce, also based out of the United Kingdom. And this one is like super legit old school zine style. And what I mean by that is, like, as you can see, number one, it's pretty small. It's smaller than I expected, but that's because I didn't really look at what I was paying for. I was just buying it because I initially liked the idea. See it, it's, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pages. Really, it's just one page. The way you do this is you take a piece of paper, you fold it in half, and then you cut down here, and then you fold it in fourths, and then you do this kind of fold thing like that. It's very origami zine-ish. How do I rate it? From a creative standpoint, pretty cool. It's essentially a bunch of images of women that this person, it's a illustrated zine of 21st century women in indie music. And so it's a picture, it's a bunch of pictures of women in the music scene. Some of these names I've never heard of before. You know, a little playlist, so if you want to go to your Spotify or wherever it is you do your playlist at, you can go check it out of all their different songs. So that's kind of cool. Her illustration work is pretty simplistic, but I dig it. You know, it's very zine style. Creatively, you know, I don't know, I'd give it a 6.5. From a quality standpoint, as you can see, the edges are not super great. There's like, they're all different sizes and lengths or whatever, and that goes with the whole DIY nature of this thing. Obviously, they printed this directly on probably their home printer. It's a little soft. When I look at this lettering right here, it's a little bit soft. So from a print standpoint, probably a 4. Value standpoint, this one cost me a total of $5.12. That was $2.10 to buy it, and then because it shipped from the United Kingdom, another $2.80. I actually paid more in shipping for this thing than I did in the thing itself. I don't know. If it helped a young artist get themselves a cup of coffee, I'm cool with that. So from a value standpoint, probably about a 5. This next one, I'm probably going to butcher this lady's name. Her name is Carolyn Swizzk. It's SWISZCZ. She's based out of Minnesota, and she did this one, Let There Be Donuts. And again, small, maybe what, like a 4x5 or 3.5x4 size, printed on a professional computer. And then there's like this little, thing like this on the inside. It's like a single sheet, but it's just like this little additive to the storyline. But basically, this is her illustrations based around the idea of a donut shop that she loved as a kid, or loved as a young adult, or whatever. And I was like, I can relate to that. I can remember those moments. From a creative standpoint, I give this one a good 9.25. It's pretty close, but a little room for growth, just because, you can always have room to grow. It's hard to tell, but I'm thinking maybe there's a little bit of cut and paste here, or like collaging of things. Maybe it's just her style artistically. Quality standpoint, not bad. Pretty good. A little bit off cut on this stuff, but the print quality is good. The paper quality is super thick. I do really dig this thing, even though it's like an additive she put in after the fact, and it's thin yellow, like school grade paper or whatever. But I dig it. I think that's kind of cool. From a print standpoint, I'm going to give this a good 9. I give it a 9. From a value standpoint, it was $3.50, plus I paid 37 cents for a stamp, which is crazy because 37 cents isn't enough to cover the price of the stamp and the envelope. So she's not charging enough there, but whatever she feels is best for her business, so be it. I would have paid more for this one. I would have paid 10 for it, maybe shipping out the door, because that's how cool it is. Now, of course, I didn't know it at the time, but if I had to go buy it again, I would pay that much. This next one almost doesn't even qualify as a zine because of the quality of the printing. Honestly, it's more of an art magazine than it is a zine, but still, it's really super, super cool, but it is a whole other level from all these other ones. Everything else here so far has been kind of like DIY handmade. This thing was professionally printed. CHiZ magazine, or CHiZ magazine, it's CHiZ magazine. This one is put out by a group called Les Fugitives. They're based out of Paris, France, and I'm saying they because I'm guessing that there has to be multiple people involved in this thing. Like I said, it is super high quality paper. It's like the binding, the crimping on this side for the bend, and the quality of all the paper on the inside, like, it's top notch. Definitely on the upper end about what would qualify as a regular zine, because at the end of the day, it's about appreciation of, well, whatever they're appreciating in here, because it's all in French. Kind of like Juxtapose or some other illustration-oriented magazine. That's what this is. Super high quality. It looks like 2-color printing all throughout. They had this offset print. They printed it in 2-color printing, and they did a fantastic job. The best thing about this is that they definitely did some mixing of colors between that purple and that magenta color, whatever. They use those 2 colors together to blend and create other colors. It's awesome because it's just filled with tons and tons of really great art. So from a creative standpoint, I give this a 10. Plus, it's really great layout. It's very magazine oriented from that standpoint. Beautiful, beautiful book. Quality, can't beat it. Can't beat it. Can't beat the quality. So that gets a 10 as well. If we're talking about this as a zine, I do wish that it was a little bit more DIY than this, but I'm not going to be too terribly mad at that because I've got a very beautiful book with lots of great art in it. I paid $15.15 for the magazine. I paid $5.68 for shipping, plus $1.55 in sales tax. So this was pricey. It was like total of $22.38. Value, I mean, it's really good, high quality stuff and great art. So I'd put the value on about a 6.5 because it is a little pricey. Total pages, 66 pages. So for 66 pages, $20. I've gotten other magazines for that price. They were much more rich and in-depth, and I could actually read it, as opposed to this one where I'm just looking at it. I need to go get my brother-in-law who speaks French, and he'll tell me what everything says. It's still pretty cool. I dig it. It's going up into my permanent collection for sure. And the last entry into the show, this one is Leading Lady. It is done by a woman by the name of L. Blair Art. She's based out of Virginia. She's got some really interesting art and illustration in this thing. This is obviously something she prints at home. It's got different illustrations. She's very female-oriented. It's like this lesbian kind of comic-oriented storyline. It's like an interesting little turn of events with things happening. Women taking care of women, or women taking care of women. You know what I'm saying? There's that storyline going on. So from a creative standpoint, I would give this a good 7.5, maybe 8. I really like some of her illustrations. Some of them are a little bit like look unfinished. Like you have this big page right here with got these like kind of interesting illustrations, and then you have this page which is kind of like what. Like, I was a little bit disappointed in that one. I get it. It's like this interaction between the two, and you're supposed to kind of judge it based on just the eye movement plus a little bit of words. From a creative standpoint, what did I say? 7.5? I'll give it a good 7.5 for a creative standpoint. From a quality standpoint, I don't know, printer paper, your basic, you know, Office Depot paper, wherever you get your paper from. Good binding. I mean, maybe she had it bound. Looks pretty dead on as far as like where the spine is and where the pages are. So this looks like something like it was probably collated at like the Office store or maybe at her office when, you know, nobody's paying attention. She prints it off her own. Hey, I'm not going to get her in trouble on that. Definitely basic quality, but I do like the fact that it has a good, nice edge. It's got good folding. I wish the paper quality was a little bit better. I do think that some of these illustrations, like when she went and actually made the art and put it into her whatever app she was using to produce this, I wish some of these illustrations had boosted up the saturation or the contrast a little bit. Some of them came out a little muted. Like this page is a little bit more muted, and maybe that was by design, but if you compare it to like the cover's pretty rich. And then here it's like super muted. Quality standpoint, I'll give it an 8. Value standpoint, this one's a little tricky because it was $10 and I didn't pay that much for shipping, so it wasn't it wasn't ridiculously expensive. But for an 18-page, you know, printed zine like this that isn't high quality print, $10 does seem a bit high for this particular zine. But again, the motivation to buy something like this may sometimes be less about what I'm just looking at. Like if I was seeing her at a zine show, I may not actually buy this one because I know that her themes are very lesbian in nature. It might feel a little weird for me to buy one. But for somebody who does relate to this subject matter, this might be the greatest value ever. So it's a little bit tricky in that standpoint. However, and this poor young lady, I made my order on, I think, December 3rd, and I didn't get this until after Christmas. I actually didn't order this one. I actually ordered this one. What happened was this one was like stuck in the mail somewhere. I reached out to her because it was taking longer because I was thinking, why was it taking so long to come from Virginia? I told her, you know what, I'll wait till after Christmas and see if it shows up between now and then. If it does, no big deal. And if it doesn't, I'll reach out to you and we'll talk about it. December 28th, I reached back out to her and still hadn't received it. And so she FedExes me this copy, and then she sent me this one and this one. Was that it? And she sent me these 3, and then I think she sent me a sticker too, and then a really nice card. She FedExed it to me. She spent a lot of money just to get this to me, and so I'm deeply appreciative of that, and I almost feel really, 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 really bad because this one came the next freaking day. I think I'm gonna send this one back to her and probably stuff a little piece of my own art in there too, just because it's like, I'm not going to take advantage of the young lady, so I'm going to send this one back to you, Al. And that's everybody. Again, folks, do me a favor. I will put links to every single one of these creators in the description. Everything is on Etsy. You can find it down there. Please go do that. Please go down there, check them out, give them props, buy some of their stuff. Forget what I said about value. If you see something you like, buy it because you like it. Period. We don't buy art just for the value of like, hey, what's it going to look like on my walls? Or how is this going to read? Is it a book? No, we buy the art because it makes us feel good. Number 1, to see art. Number 2, to support artists. Of course, I explained to you why I was talking about all these zines, and pretty soon I'm going to be showing you how I build my own zine in my very first zine builder course. And it's not just going to be zines, it's actually going to be magazines. It's going to be, I'll throw a little bit of information there about how to do books as well. Working on that right now. It's coming in the somewhat near, soon to be near future. Stick around here because you're going to want to find out more about that, I'm sure. If you want to build your own thing like that, this will help you do that. Imagine if we took this DIY level of work and put it into this high quality thing. That's what we're going to be talking about in this course. It's going to be awesome. I cannot wait to share it. You should stick around because you want to be part of that. That's it, folks. I'm going to get out. If you enjoyed this, do me a favor. Tell me what you liked most. Tell me which magazine you would buy. Go down to the comments and share. Or tell me if you've got your own. Because if you've got your own zine, I would like to know about it. While you're headed down there, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't done so already. And hit that bell because you never want to miss a thing. And share all of this with your homies, especially these fine people who made this art. Thanks very much, folks. I really appreciate you. Have a great weekend. Oh, one more thing. Because I'm creating that zine course, I'm actually going back to 1 video a week here on this channel. I'm sorry, I know, I'm like wishy-washy. I'm all over the place. I need the extra time during the week to film the videos because I'm spending so much time on these videos that I don't have time to film the other videos. Anyway, I gotta film those videos, so now you get only 1 a week until the other thing is done. I promise I'll work as hard as I can to get that done fast. Anyway, that's it. I'm out. Remember, be good today, be better tomorrow. See ya.